Mario is Nintendo's most famous character, and he's got tons of video games covering multiple different genres such as platformers, kart racing, RPGs, as well as sports games, which as of late haven't had the best reception. It seems that while almost every other type of Mario game has been evolving and improving over the years, the sports games have been doing the opposite and getting more and more abstract every year. So much so that even games like Mario Strikers Battle League, which fans had been begging for ages, received terrible reviews. So something has got to change, and while I can't do that myself, I can at least share my thoughts on where I think the series should go. I'm gonna go over the history of Mario sports games, as it's important to understand the past to build a better future, and then I'm gonna talk about the recent games, what they did wrong, how they could improve, and my ideas for future Mario sports games. So with that being said, yo guys, Crazy Tendo here, and this is how Nintendo can fix Mario Sports. The Mario Sports series as we know it started on the N64, with Mario Golf releasing in 1999 and Mario Tennis in the year 2000. Technically, Mario did have a tennis game in 1995 on the Virtual Boy, a console that was designed to transport game players into a virtual utopia, with sights and sounds unlike anything they've ever experienced. Yeah, I never really cared for sports games that much, like FIFA, NBA, Madden, or any of those other realistic sports games, but throw Mario in there and, oh my god, Mario's fat ass can actually do sports! Mario Golf on the N64 was a nice game, and while I haven't really played it that much, it did have a great reception from the fans. It was like a regular golfing game, but with Mario characters and a bright colorful palette to really give that Mario feeling. For the first game of the Mario Sports series, it did a good job, but I personally enjoyed the next Mario Sports game even more. Mario Tennis on the N64 was a great game, and while I didn't play it on the original console because I wasn't born at the time, I have tried it on the N64 Switch Online app, and it is pretty fun for an N64 game. Mario Tennis wasn't just a tennis game with Mario characters. There were items from Mario games, Mario sounds and music, all helping to make this feel like Mario Tennis and not tennis featuring Mario characters. The game boasts an impressive 15-character roster with beloved characters like the Mario Brothers, Peach, Daisy, Wario, and our Lord and Savior Waluigi made his debut appearance in this game. Now, while the N64 Mario Sports games were fun and all, Nintendo's next home console, the GameCube, was where the Mario Sports series was at its best. Starting off with the first Mario Sports on the GameCube, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. There isn't much to say that I didn't already mention for Mario Golf on the N64. It's still a golf game with Mario characters, but this time with more vibrant landscapes and more game modes due to the GameCube's more advanced hardware. The game also had more inputs to give you more control over your shots. Oh, and in Toadstool Tour, Bowser sounds interesting. Mario Power Tennis was a big upgrade from the N64 one though, with the introduction of power shots, basically super moves you could use as a last second save for a really powerful shot. For example, Mario takes out a big hammer and just smacks the ball. The game's tennis courts are way better as well. Mario Tennis on the N64 basically just threw a PNG onto the court, but in Power Tennis we got complete environments based on the Mario world, and they even changed the mechanics a bit, like this Al Delfino court, which has this goo mechanic. And the minigames in this game were also pretty cool. Like we got a Luigi's Mansion themed one, and one where you paint Mario's face, like how cool is that? Also, I gotta give a shout out to the hilarious trophy victory animations. Superstar Baseball was Mario's first baseball game, and it was actually pretty neat. The game had a roster of 32 characters, and you could develop your personal Mario baseball team with any one of them. Each character has different stats, which allows for a truly customizable experience, and choosing the captain for the team also adds certain boosts to the overall team stats, so there's a ton of team possibilities here. And just like the other Mario sports games, this one does more than just insert Mario characters into the actual sport. There's a power meter, which when fully charged allows the player to use a special shot, either as the pitcher or the batter. A few special themed baseball fields with special gimmicks and items to make this game really feel like it's a Mario game. I feel that just like with golf and tennis, Nintendo was able to capture the spirit of the sport and add their own flair of Mario magic onto it. The fact that we got a brand new sport on the system was already crazy, but Nintendo decided to treat us even more with yet another new sport. Super Mario Strikers introduced Mario to the world of football. Yeah, you heard that right, football, and not soccer. Because I live in Europe, so I use the proper name. Shout out to my American fans though, I hope I didn't piss you guys off. But anyways, Super Mario Strikers is able to capture the spirit of the sport really well while adding the usual Mario magic onto it. What I really love about this game is how aggressive and violent all the characters seem compared to how they normally are. This whole game gives off such a serious vibe. Just look at how the characters look on the selection screen. Super Mario Strikers takes their usual Mario characters, throws them on a big football pitch, and makes them really violent like I mentioned. And sure, while you can't hit the gritty like you can in FIFA, there's still plenty of fun to have with this game. Passing the ball around to teammates and using the game's many items, charging up the super strikes and just shooting it into the goal, Everything about Super Mario Strikers is just so intense, and I love it. The GameCube era was great for Mario Sports, but that's unfortunately when the series peaked and it started going downhill during the Wii era. But before the Wii received its first Mario sports game in 2007, the Nintendo DS got one of the most interesting Mario sports games, Mario Hoops 3-on-3. Now in theory, a basketball game on the DS sounds kind of strange, but I love this game, man. The controls may seem weird on paper, but when you try playing the game yourself, they surprisingly feel really good. Using your stylus to dribble the ball, steal the ball, and shoot the ball. One of the most interesting parts of the game was that it was developed by Square Enix, the guys who made Final Fantasy, not the kind of developer to make a Mario basketball game. Because Square Enix developed this game, there are a few Final Fantasy characters in here as well. For some reason, this game isn't very well received by quite a few people, but I don't know, man, I just love this game. Now, going back to the Wii, in 2007, we got the first Mario sports game for that console. Is it golf like the other two consoles? Nope. Is it tennis? Nope. Surprisingly, just 2 years after the GameCube release, Super Mario Strikers got a sequel, Mario Strikers Charged. Super Mario Strikers already had aggressive characters, but oh my god, Strikers Charged upped that intensity even more. The characters genuinely act like they want to kill each other. Gameplay wise, this is more so the same as the GameCube one with a few minor changes, like more unique power shots and more team customization, and all the football pitches have additional gimmicks. Probably the biggest change though is the charge shots. Yeah, there were charge shots in the GameCube one, but in this game, if you pass the ball around enough times, it glows white. And if you hit a power shot while it's in that form, you can score an additional 5 points, which is absolutely crazy, man. And then the goalkeeper has a chance to block those shots with the Wii remote, which kind of sucks, and is a big reason why many people prefer the original game over this. Although this game does feature Waluigi doing this. Waluigi, yeah, yeah. Just like Super Mario Strikers, Mario Superstar Baseball also received a sequel on the Wii called Mario Super Sluggers. And while fans of the original were excited for this game, it was met with some fair criticism. The gameplay felt really similar to the original, and the motion controls weren't that great either, all leading to the game feeling more like an upgraded version of the GameCube one and not a sequel. There really isn't much to say about this game, to be honest. It was more still the same, and this is really where the downfall of Mario Sports started, with the games just feeling the same as their predecessors, and not like new experiences. And it was a shame that instead of a new Mario Tennis game, Nintendo literally just ported the GameCube one over to the Wii with new Play Control Mario Power Tennis, releasing in 2009. Now while the GameCube release was well received, this wasn't at all what fans wanted. They wanted new experiences, as seen by the reception to Super Sluggers. And then Nintendo literally ported over a 5-year-old GameCube Mario Tennis game and gave it a graphical polish and weird motion controls. Instead of fluid gameplay like the Wii Sports Tennis, Nintendo just mapped GameCube buttons to motion controls, so it never truly felt like you were hitting the ball on your own. And sure, it makes sense that they didn't put much effort into this, as why would you play this over Wii Sports, which every Wii came with, but it was still a shame. In 2011, we got one of the most controversial Mario sports games, Mario Sports Mix. This game features 4 sports which had never gotten games on any Nintendo home console, those being basketball, hockey, volleyball, and dodgeball. Some people found this game really odd, but I'll go ahead and say this, I like this game. Or better said, I love the basketball mode. I've only tried the other sports a few times, but the basketball mode is just so much fun. I have this one friend and every time he comes over we play this game because it's just so much fun. The controls are good, gameplay is fun. I just wish we got this as a standalone release because then there might have been more to do, more basketball content, more gameplay, maybe mini games or something like that. And while the other 3 games are fine, I guess, I just don't like them as much as basketball, but I mean, hey, motion controls are good, so that's something that other Mario sports games on the Wii didn't have. With the controversial Wii era of Mario Sports over, things really started going downhill. I mean, really downhill, as pretty much every Nintendo series was somehow affected during the 3DS and Wii U era. The first game for this generation was Mario Tennis Open, and it's a weird game. See, in a tennis game you'd expect the main gameplay loop to be going to the ball and hitting it, right? Well, in this game, you run to these colored spots and press the corresponding button on the touchscreen. Who thought this would be fun? I don't know. You can't even choose how you want to hit the ball, the game chooses for you. Sure, I guess there are a few fun minigames, but I mean, come on. This was the first new Mario Tennis game since 2005, and this is what we got? Mario Golf World Tour released a decade after the last entry, and this was surprisingly not bad. You know how when talking about the N64 and GameCube eras, I said how tennis had more creativity than golf? Flip that around and really turn up the creativity for golf because, man, Mario Golf World Tour is the best game in the series. The gameplay is the best the golf series has ever seen with super tight controls, the course design is top notch, and I mean, just look at these environments with all these bright colors and even proper Mario themed courses like a Donkey Kong Jungle one. How cool is that? This game even featured a complete single player campaign where you play as a Mii of your choosing. This isn't a full-fledged RPG, but it's still fun. Golf World Tour even had weekly online tournaments back in the day that had a wide range of modes and rules. The only bad thing this game really did was give us false hope that the Mario Sports series was back, because holy fucking shit, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash is ultra fucking stupid. If you watched any video about Mario Sports before, then you know that this game is basically universally clowned upon. This has to be one of the most lazy games Nintendo has ever put out, stripping away everything that made fans love Mario Tennis to begin with. The character roster is extremely limited. There's basically only one court. Oh, and only one item, the Mega Mushroom, which at that point had already been so oversaturated. You become big, and that's it. That's all this game has. This lack of content is just outright stupid. Who at Nintendo greenlit this game? There's literally nothing about this game to even talk about, so I really don't know what else to say. Remember how I said Mario Sports Mix on the Wii was a good game? Well, Mario Sports Superstars wasn't. This was a mixed collection of baseball, football, tennis, golf, and... oh yeah, that's horse speak for what the fuck. The game also had these amiibo cards, and the amount of laziness with these needs to be studied. These are all just PNGs of existing renders that are so poorly edited. The tennis and golf modes in Sports Superstars were really similar to Tennis Open and Golf World Tour, and the other three sports are alright, I guess. I mean, what else am I meant to say about Mario on a horse? This game just feels cheap and put together last minute for the sake of it. There's no charm in this game at all. Well, the Wii U and 3DS Mario Sports games were really mid, but that's because it was the Wii U and 3DS, right? But it's okay guys, because the all-new revolutionary Nintendo Switch is gonna give us some great Mario Sports games and make us go, yay, Mario Sports! Yay, Mario Sports. Mario Tennis Aces was the first Mario Sports game on the Switch, and it's obviously a step up from Ultra Smash, because let's be real, how can anything be worse than that? The game's new gimmick is the slow motion power shots, which can lead to some really fun matches. It isn't too bad of a game, however, Mario Tennis Aces isn't perfect. This game features a fun but really short single player campaign, and once you're done with that, you just have a bunch of online modes and regular old multiplayer. The offline tournaments in the game are fun, but there's no real point in doing them as you don't get any rewards, such as new characters or stages. Mario Tennis Aces was fun, but it didn't launch with enough content. 2021 marked a new entry for the Mario Golf series with Mario Golf Super Rush, and it was met with a lot of criticism. The game launched with 6 golf courses and 4 of them were locked at the start, so you only had 2 courses when starting the game. The game did add a couple of more free courses in later updates, as well as characters, but why weren't those there from the start? You could have easily made them unlockable later on and then have more courses available at the start. Super Rush also has a single player campaign where your Mii character trains in the Mario world and levels up. But then you realize this game mode is basically a tutorial for the game, and just feels like a burden to play through. There are some gameplay changes here, like the putting process including this meter, a ring system to gauge shots, and being able to putt golf balls in multiplayer at the same time, and then run after them, because who doesn't love that in a golf game? And for some reason you have to sit there and watch the CPU play as well. Super Rush is just way too gimmicky, unlike the more arcade style gameplay in the other golf games. Golf is meant to be a slower and much more chill sport, but this game really tries to make it hardcore, competitive, and fast, and I just don't think it works. And the fact that there isn't really much besides these gimmicky modes, and a story that's disguised as a tutorial and just the regular old gameplay, Mario Golf Super Rush is an alright game, but it didn't launch with enough content. Unfortunately, Nintendo's third Mario Sports game on the Switch, and as of right now the latest one, Mario Strikers Battle League, continues this disappointing trend in Mario Sports games for the Switch. In the years leading up to the reveal of this game, I saw so many fans that were begging for a new Strikers game, but ultimately, this game wasn't really well received. The game launched with basically no characters, as well as losing the whole violent and aggressive vibe from the first 2 games. All the football fields in this game look pretty much the same, so the entire gimmick of fusing 2 stages together was pointless. Plus, there's no stage gimmicks either. Who at Nintendo thought that people would buy this game? Just like tennis and golf, this game was heavily centered around online, with Battle League's new feature being online team creation. However, unlike those 2 games, there isn't even a single player campaign. with basically nothing to do outside of online matches and the gameplay just not hitting the same. Mario Strikers Battle League was a pretty mid game that didn't launch with any fun content. But do you know where you can find good and fun content? My channel. And if you guys have made it this far and are enjoying the video, well then consider liking and subscribing. Chances are you haven't subscribed, and it really does mean a lot, and it really does help out the channel. We're so close to 500 subs, so if you guys could help out, that would mean the world. My goal for 2025 is to try and reach 1K subscribers, and only you guys can help out with that. So again, if you guys are enjoying and would like to support the channel, hit that subscribe button. The Mario sports games are boring. They didn't launch with enough fun content. They are just not fun. But Nintendo can change this. With the Switch 2 on the way, Nintendo will be releasing new Mario sports games. But how should they do the series' roots justice? And how can they make these games so good that even hardcore Nintendo fans will like them? Let's start off by highlighting what the main problems of the newer Mario sports games were. The first pretty big issue is the lack of content. The Wii U, 3DS, and Switch eras of Mario sports games all had a lot of bare bones games with nothing much to do and a repetitive gameplay loop. What Nintendo needs to do is add some quirky and fun game modes to spice things up a bit, which ties neatly into this next thing being a bare bones or lack of single player content. If Nintendo added some sort of short little story mode to more sports outside of golf and made them fun and entertaining, even if it's a short 5 or 6 hour campaign, if it's fun, it could add a lot to the mix. The single player campaign could also feature unlockable items like a secret stage you can unlock and play on when beating the story, or costumes and other cosmetics for characters. Whatever they decide to do, please Nintendo, add more creativity to your sports games because it is lacking so much. Mario is known for its creativity and quirkiness, yet the sports games feel so bland and generic. Bring back the funky and awesome stages like Power Tennis on the GameCube, or completely turn things around to give Mario a whole different vibe like the aggression in the first. However, something that future sports titles absolutely need to change is launching unfinished. Every single Mario sports game on the Switch, and Switch Sports as well, they all launched with not enough content, and then added them later when they could have clearly launched with them. Launch with a full roster and all the stages, and if Nintendo really wants to add post-launch content, they could do smaller challenges with rewards every week or so. Or what if we already get a ton of content at launch and then they add even more as paid DLC for those who want it? That way the game has a lot of good content at launch, and if you want more, you can buy it. That way everyone wins. Now, what should the future of Mario sports games look like on the Switch 2? I think we should get 4 sports games on the console. Tennis and golf as usual, baseball because all the fans want it back, and finally, basketball because honestly, they haven't missed with that sport yet, and if they made a full game, it could be sick. For each of these games, I'm going to address the issues I mentioned earlier and what each game can do to fix them. Starting off with tennis, to fix the lack of content that was present in Tennis Aces and Ultra Smash, the game needs to add more game modes. Tennis Aces had a story mode, a tournament mode, free play, and a game mode just for motion controls. That should just be a setting in the game. See, I think that we need a minigame mode with a bunch of unique minigames, just like Power Tennis on the GameCube did. Give us a minigame where we have to hit a bunch of ball bombs across the net, and if 3 explode because you don't reach them on time, you lose. Or one where you have to try to hit the ball into a goal area through a bunch of obstacles. What if there was a minigame like dodgeball but with tennis, where you need to try and hit the opponent with the ball to score points? There's so much they can do with the minigame ideas. The game also needs a better story mode. This is where the Mario part of Mario Tennis should pop. Take us through the many different Mario themed courts this game hopefully has, as we go through enemies to win some big tournament and then win a prize to give to Peach. But then, when you think the game is over, Bowser comes in and kidnaps Peach, forcing you to go through exclusive Bowser mode stages only available in story mode, where you need to complete specific objectives in those matches, and then finally, an epic boss battle against the Koopa King himself. Maybe after each match in the Bowser matches, we get a cosmetic item to use throughout the rest of the game. The second game is golf. Golf in general is a somewhat slow game, but Mario has been able to make it a lot of fun. Nintendo needs to make something like World Tour on the 3DS, because that game did so many things right. Creative courses, weekly tournaments, a fun little RPG mode. Literally, if Nintendo just did that again and didn't change anything, I wouldn't mind at all. But as for actual new content, just add some more side modes like challenges, for example, to see how far you can shoot the ball, time-based challenges, etc. These challenges could reward you with special outfits and other cosmetic items. Of course, we need the regular old golf gameplay with some Mario-themed courses. We got New Donk City and Super Rush, which was pretty cool, but we need more, a whole game filled with that. As for the story mode, I like the RPG idea, but it should have more of a Mario theme to it, you know? The story mode should also feature courses that are exclusive to that mode, like what I mentioned for tennis. That way there's some more new things in this mode. However, I don't honestly know what else to really say because golf is such a simple sport that it definitely feels like it relies on good replayability and creativity. Mario needs another baseball entry, and the Switch 2 could be the perfect opportunity to bring back this well-known sport. Since baseball stadiums are so massive, we could easily get more Mario themed ones like a Bowser one or a Luigi's Mansion one, with their own special gimmicks of course. But for the single player mode in this game, what if there was some sort of career manager thing? And you need to build your team throughout the rest of the story, progressively unlocking more characters that can be part of your team, with the ultimate goal of going through all the courses and winning it all. This could put a twist on the usual Mario Sports type of story modes that we've gotten in the past. We could also get a ton of minigames, for example a home run derby, a pitching challenge where you can see how hard you pitch the ball, a game mode where you run the bases while dodging falling obstacles, or something like that home run mode in Smash Ultimate, where you can see how hard you hit the ball. This would be super fun, and the addition of minigames like this would result in even more replayability. Baseball has been absent for a long time in the Mario Sports franchise, so a lot of fans will be happy with a good baseball game and not a bad one like what they did for Mario Strikers Battle League. Now finally, the game I'm most excited to talk about, basketball. We have never gotten a full proper Mario basketball game because you really can't count hoops 3-on-3 due to it being much more of a smaller game. There is so much they can do with basketball. There's so many different court ideas, like imagine a basketball court that's based on Yoshi's Island, where there are Yoshis in the background that throw eggs that are power-ups to make you jump higher. Or a Toad Town court, where the gimmick is every now and then there's a rush of toads going across the court to block players. We have gotten a smaller Mario basketball experience on the Wii like I mentioned a little while back, and honestly that gameplay is fun, but if this game had a more unique camera angle, it could allow for some more overall gimmicks. Like certain maps could have rising platforms to give an advantage to players standing on them, or warp blocks to move players around the court. As for side modes, oh boy, I got a few ideas. What is the first thing most people think of when they hear the word basketball, aside from our beloved LeBron? Dunking. Imagine a Mario basketball dunk contest mode. That would just be so awesome. You need to try and pull off the best dunks and trick shots to impress the crowd, and whoever has the most crowd points wins. We could also get a street ball mode where the maps are more urban-like, for example New Donk City, and in those maps, facilities like power shots, stuff like that would be gone to make for a more chill, laid-back experience. And of course, a minigame mode. And there you can play a bunch of basketball minigames like a dribbling obstacle course, or one of those arcade basketball games. Literally, there's so many crazy things they could do with basketball, and of course, please give all the characters basketball jerseys, that would be so cool. If you've been paying attention, you might have noticed there's one aspect I didn't mention at all for these games, online, and there's a reason why. Besides the usual online multiplayer, online tournament, blah blah blah, I had this really crazy idea. What if there was some sort of interconnected online system through all the games? You could create a sports club and your friends could join it. You could check other players' stats in other sports and see their performance with certain characters. You could earn special cosmetics for your different games if you own other games, or maybe there's some sort of weekly online challenge across all sports that people could participate in. There could also be some sort of weekly online challenge that people could participate in, adding even more excitement and variety to the experience. This system could be so fun, and Nintendo could really turn it into something big. Of course, this online section is completely optional if you don't want to participate, but I think it would be really cool to create an online sports club with your friends. You could challenge other clubs, compete in challenges across multiple games, and track your club's progress on a leaderboard. Also, there could be some sort of special online event, trophies, rewards, and if the next console does feature this, achievements too. It wouldn't just be about competing in individual sports. Clubs could also participate in multi-game tournaments. That way, not everyone in the club needs to own each game to be involved, and there could even be specific tournaments for game modes within each individual game, adding more diversity and fun to these Mario Sports games. The Mario Sports series is one of the most iconic parts of Mario's catalog, and while the games haven't been the best lately, they can definitely improve, and only time will tell if Nintendo manages to bring the series back to its former glory. If you guys have any Mario Sports games ideas or any other additions to what I said, let me know down below, and while you're at it, make sure to like and subscribe. But with that being said, yo guys, Crazy Tendo here, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.